Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Joan Garcia is set to be joining Barcelona sooner or later. All we really need is a here we go from Fabrizio Romano to confirm everything. I've seen a lot of reports on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. So all the heroic shit Espanyol fans were doing for him, acting like he's Superman, him kissing the badge on his Instagram, and all Barca fans were acting like, oh my gosh, he might not come, guys. Bro, you're just not bigger than Barcelona. You're not bigger than a program. You acting like niggas is shit in 2025. Niggas, bitches are not shit in 2025. You could go out your way and do everything for a girl, buy her flowers, suck her toes, eat her pussy. It don't matter, bro. She's still going. It could go for y'all ladies as well. I know there's a lot of ladies in here. It could go for y'all as well. Y'all are not safe. So, human beings in 2025, bro, you gotta watch it back, man. But anyway, Shaq. Yeah, he's joining the team. I'm very much excited. As much as I love that he's here, bro, that is some backdoor shit, though. You did them dirty, bro. They did all that they treated you like you were Superman, like you were a god. You kissed the badge, and then now you're going to the direct rivals. I'm just glad to be on the other side, to be honest. But it's always you're always glad to be on the other side, bro. When you're fucking someone's girl, you're always glad to be on the other side. It doesn't matter. And at the end of the day, as you can see by the title, thumbnail, etc., bro, do Barcelona fans hate Ter Stegen? I don't even know if that's gonna be the title and shit. But the base of the video is, do Barcelona fans despise Ter Stegen? Now, if you're asking me, do I despise Ter Stegen? Absolutely. I'm fucking with you. I don't hate Ter Stegen. I feel like hate is a very strong word. I don't really know, bro, for real, man. All I know is his football skills, his goalkeeping at Barcelona. His time here at Barcelona is for sure over, man. I don't know who's trying to sugarcoat it. I don't know who's going to be making excuses for him. If you're on this channel thinking I'm going to be making excuses for Ter Stegen, you are on the wrong channel. You might as well leave the channel, my boy. I'm being so serious. Anyway, chat, we're going to be doing a reaction videos today. Pet Talk Football. I thought it was Pet Talk Sports. Barca fans hate Ter Stegen. Y'all leave a like on the video, click the subscribe button, man. I love every single one of y'all. I'm pretty sure the Nations League final is tomorrow. I'm very much excited to see Lamine Yamal versus Mbappe again, bro.
We don't give a fuck!
Stegen is the most polarizing player at Barca. Some consider him a world-class goalie who has bailed out the club time and time again. Others think he's the devil reincarnated. They call him Ter Statue. They say that he can't even save a PDF.
Ter Stegen, you're great, but not that great.
The man responsible for numerous Champions League collapses.
We will never be serious till Ter Stegen retires and disappears from this world.
It's not just fans. Even Ter Stegen's own teammates have thrown shots at him.
This wasn't a red flag to y'all. This was for sure a red flag for me. I don't know why we took this as a joke at the time. This was not a joke, bro. They were being so serious. He didn't laugh. Not a single smile came after Suarez's face when he said that, bro. It was right in front of her face. It's like I'm watching like a...
Same day Dirk went to jail, that nigga had a 500.
So what is the truth? Is the German an elite goalie who is being scapegoated, or do the problems go deeper? This is the story of the most hated man in Barcelona. The Berlin Wall has been at the club for such a long time that it makes sense why there are strong opinions around him. I mean, the guy outlasted Messi, Piqué. He's the only player remaining from the squad that won the treble in 2015. Obama was still president when Ter Stegen made his debut for Barca. When he joined the club, there was a lot of hype around him. The 22-year-old left his boyhood club, Borussia Mönchengladbach, to replace Victor Valdez. Now, this was a big deal for Barca because as dominant as the club has been over the years, right? The sextuple in 2009, Champions League in 2011, all those La Liga titles, they never actually had a truly elite goalie. I like Valdez. He had some very clutch moments over the years, but he also had many bozo moments. Way too many times I saw this guy gifting goals in El Clasico. And don't get me started on his backup Pinto, man. But he looked like a SoundCloud rapper in goal. Although even he had some great moments. So Ter Stegen...
Yo, was it really necessary for Pinto to catch it straight? Absolutely. Listen. If you honestly think I might be forgetting about what Pinto did in the Copa del Rey final in 2013, I believe, when Bale ran past Backlund and went through his leg, I will not forget about that shit, my nigga. Dead ass, bro. Pinto, the only reason why you were here for this long is because you were Messi's friend, bro.
Stegen coming in was seen as the start of a new era. Barca finally signing a true elite goalie. Because in Germany, he was very sought after. Everyone essentially saw him as the natural heir to Manuel Neuer. In fact, Ter Stegen got unlucky that he was German. Any other nation and he would have been their starting goalie. But he had to wait his turn because the guy ahead of him was arguably the greatest goalie of all time. So Ter Stegen joins in the summer of 2014 along with Claudio Bravo. Now the German actually got an injury before the first league match of the season, so Luis Enrique implemented a dual keeper system. Bravo would take league games and Ter Stegen would get the Champions League plus Copa del Rey. Now this is funny because, as we will see later in the video, the contrast between Ter Stegen's performances in La Liga and the Champions League is one of the biggest reasons why he became such a polarizing figure. The dual keeper system worked like a charm. Bravo won the Zamora Trophy as Barca won La Liga. Ter Stegen meanwhile played well in cup competition, and Barca won the Champions League and Copa del Rey. A nice little treble in his first season. He had been really good in the Champions League. He made the save of the season to deny Lewandowski in the...
This save right here Ter Stegen made was in 2015. Lewandowski took this shot. Ter Stegen made this save. He took it off the line. We are in the year 2025, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. And they're still talking about this save, bro. What other fantastic Ter Stegen save has he made in the knockout stage? Tell me. No, seriously. And in that same game, he conceded some bozo goals. I feel like people just forget about that, man. It is what it is, though. I'm not going to continue talking about it. But y'all TikTok fans, y'all Instagram Reels fans that don't actually sit down and watch this guy actually play, bro, y'all don't really have the right to be talking to anybody else, to be honest, bro. Oh my gosh, what about the Ter Stegen save off the line? Yeah. Shut up, nigga.
Semifinals. A wonderful double save against a guy that would later become his teammate. Football is just one massive script. Now, even though Ter Stegen made a big impression in Europe right away, he had to wait for his chance in La Liga. In his first season, he didn't play a single match. Bravo was the only one trusted in league games. In his second season, he had to wait till September of 2015 to finally get his first La Liga appearance. And it was clear he wasn't happy sitting on the bench so often. Ter Stegen was young, ambitious, and ready to be the main man. He didn't come all the way to Barcelona just to be a backup. The tension got worse when the 23-year-old said that he would consider leaving the Camp Nou if the rotation policy continued.
Was that not a red flag? Is what we're reading right now not a red flag? And people could be like, oh, this is rumors. This is him being dead ass, bro. I actually believe this shit, man.
So in 2016, the club made their decision. They sold Bravo and handed the #1 spot to Ter Stegen. Now, depending on how you feel about the German, you will
had no counter competition after, bro.
Those who hate him will point out that it's not a great look that you're actively avoiding competition, especially since Bravo was doing a good job. It's not like Barca had a bum in goal. In contrast, look at the way that Thierry Henry viewed competition when he came to Barca.
And I've been told that I was going to start on the bench by Rijkaard, and I said, I'm coming. I need to battle. I need to battle, I need to battle in training. When I'm not challenged, I'm not really, I look for that challenge every day, every day of the week. That's what I need.
On the other hand, Ter Stegen supporters will argue that being a goalie, it's not like being an attacker. You can't just be subbed in. You have to play regularly as a starter so that you can adjust to your back line and get comfortable with the team. No matter which side you are on, this has always been a...
Bro, why the fuck? Why did we trust a guy with this kind of haircut and goal, my nigga? This is our fault. We have to take accountability, guys. Seriously, we trusted this. This is our fault. This is our fault. And I know I'm not gonna say our because a lot of people peep game before me. But this is like I feel like I gotta take I gotta take accountability and realize I'm a dumbass for this shit. I feel fucked up right now, man.
That's tough. That's tough.
I feel like he is low-key overhated though. Some of y'all hate him for personal reasons. I just can't stand bro and go.
Thing with Ter Stegen. He doesn't want to fight for a place. He wants to be the #1 unanimously.
That's what
want to be a bro. He wanted them bougie bad bitches.
Competition.
We saw a similar thing with Szczesny and the Garcia rumors. According to sources, he was considering leaving again if he wasn't guaranteed playing time. And those around the club weren't considering him a nailed-on starter anymore due to his decline in form and having undergone surgery in recent years. I just wanted to show that there's a pattern with Ter Stegen. He wants to be the unanimous #1 no matter the context, no matter the situation. Anyways, back to the 2016-2017 season. With Bravo gone, Ter Stegen became a full-time starter. But now came growing pains. Ter Stegen is a keeper who is very comfortable with the ball at his feet. But he's also very prone to big mistakes. In that season, one of his biggest mistakes came against Celta Vigo. Barca had cut a 3-goal deficit to 1, and then Ter Stegen did this.
What's Mark Ter Stegen done? You can't believe it. He's giving it away. What a nightmare.
Now, both Piqué and Luis Enrique defended him. They reminded people that Barca's philosophy is to play with risk, and mistakes like this can happen. They were right, and their belief in the German was rewarded. Here is Ter Stegen being involved in the goal that helped Barca make the remontada against PSG. A goalie this high up the pitch really is a polar bear in Texas moment. He also had made a really crucial save on Cavani in the dying minutes that kept Barca's dreams alive. But the next round was a different story. Barca completely collapsed against Roma. Now, this was a team collapse, no doubt. Look at Barca's back line. What is Piqué doing? You can only really blame Ter Stegen for the first goal that Dzeko scored. He really should have come out earlier. He stays on his line way too much. A bad trait of his that even Suarez had pointed out. But he also made plenty of saves that game that bailed out the team. This was still early in his career. So
no. What y'all gotta understand is the downfall of Ter Stegen wasn't the early. That wasn't where I cut ties with him. We're going to get into the video, but that wasn't where I cut ties with him. I still was defending Ter Stegen. That was when he had knees. That was when he had proper knees. He could make the type of saves sometimes he was making. Obviously, he made some errors, but he could have made some saves. He could have made some saves because he had knees. But let's continue watching the video, though.
Criticism around him. But as we will see later in the video, it's not that Ter Stegen gets blamed for these losses. It's that there's a question of could he have done more on the night, or at least delay the inevitable. In La Liga that season, he was incredible. Barca nearly went unbeaten in the league. Week after week, Ter Stegen was making unbelievable saves. Barca had the fewest goals conceded in the top 5 European leagues. And when you see his performance against Bilbao, you understand why. Then by the time the 2018-2019 season rolled around, Ter Stegen was right near the top of his game. At just 26 years old, he was no longer just a promising young keeper. He was one of the very best in the world. He had lightning quick reflexes, he was calm on the ball, and he had very smart positioning. And during this period, Barcelona's defense constantly looked shaky. Ter Stegen was the one that was saving the day. Look at the 2018 Supercopa de España. It was Ter Stegen's late penalty save that helped Barca win. The team attacked a lot and left gaps at the back, so it meant that Ter Stegen had to be sharp almost every game. And time again, he was making big saves when it mattered the most, at least in La Liga. That year, the world also took notice. He finished second in the 2019 Yashin Trophy, just behind Alisson. To be named one of the top 3 goalies on the planet was no small achievement. But as great as the domestic achievements were, I mean, he had won his 4th La Liga title now, the Champions League heartbreaks continued. Another crash out from Barca. A 3-0 first leg lead blown at Anfield. Now again, this was a collapse from the entire team, the entire back line. But the people who criticize Ter Stegen argue that if he's truly a world-class goalie, he should have been able to save some of these opportunities. The first one was a parry right to Origi, and the fourth one was the entire team, including Ter Stegen, being asleep during the corner.
3 minutes gone, Liverpool 2, Barcelona.
I don't think y'all understand the pain I had that you couldn't save that though. That is by far one of the worst days of my life, bro. Seriously, bro. I can't, bro. Why did he show this? Why did he show this, bro?
There is no doubt that the back 4 ahead of the German had more holes than Swiss cheese. They got penetrated more than Mia Khalifa, but we had
Bro, what you on?
seen this guy pull off miracles in La Liga. We had seen him bail out this exact defense time and time again. So why was it not working in the Champions League? Well, this theme continued on to the next season. In La Liga, Ter Stegen was the most complete goalie in the world. He was doing things that no other goalies were doing. The guy picked up 2 assists, perfectly placed long balls that turned defense into attack in an instant. One for Luis Suarez, another for Antoine Griezmann. It showed just how complete his game had become. But the Champions League collapses kept coming. This time it wasn't so much a crumble as much as it was a belt to ass performance by the Bavarians. 8-2, with Ter Stegen being in goal for all.
Bro, ever since 8-2 happened, we should have got a new goalkeeper, bro. We should not be having a goalkeeper that have this much trauma. We should not, though. For real, chat, for real, bro. He got his back beat in, bro. 8 goals is crazy trauma for a goalkeeper in the Champions League semifinal. So what, there wasn't fans? This is a crazy time, bro. Niggas going through COVID and shit. He conceded 8 goals. Why do we still have a goalkeeper that conceded 8 goals? 4-0 happened. 8-2 happened. Why is he still our goalkeeper, bro? That shit is traumatic as fuck.
Now, of course, when the back line ahead of you is an aging Jordi Alba, aging Piqué, Longley, and Nelson Semedo, you are going to struggle. But some of the goals were very savable. We had seen Ter Stegen save far harder chances. To his credit, he didn't hide. He faced the media, owned up to the performances, and called it unacceptable. He also pointed out something deeper, that these repeated failures in Europe weren't just about tactics or formation, they were mental. In the next few seasons though, Ter Stegen's form began to dip even more. I'm not sure if it was because of the surgery that he underwent after the previous season, but he really wasn't anywhere near the elite levels that we had seen from him before. In the 2021 season, Barca were knocked out of the Champions League by PSG 4-1. Again, the majority of these goals...
Okay, I'm not gonna lie, bro. Ter Stegen, as trash as y'all could say he is, that back line is fucking atrocious, bro. Serginho Dest got burnt. Jordi Alba, Piqué, bro, these guys had to go, though, including Ter Stegen, bro. These guys had to go for us to grow. Continue watching the video though. Mbappe cooked us that game, bro. Fried us, bro.
Or because Barca can't defend. But you can make an argument that Ter Stegen could have done more for that third goal. It wasn't just this game though. His form had dipped significantly in all competitions now. In fact, Barca were rumored to be going for Onana during that period as they wanted to find a new goalie. Thank God they didn't. Another goalie who is supposedly better on the ball than shot stopping, yet makes a ton of individual errors with the ball at his feet. But this was crazy to think about. Just a few years earlier, the idea of Barcelona moving on from Ter Stegen would have sounded crazy. He was the hero between the posts, the guy who was pulling off impossible saves when the defense fell apart. But things had changed. Mistakes were now creeping into Ter Stegen's game more. They kept happening in big moments. A spilled shot here, a missed punch there. Small errors that led to big problems.
Look at Messi, my nigga. Look at Messi, bro. The best player to ever wear this badge. Look at how he's looking at him. Look how disappointed he is. And I'm pretty sure there's a video on Twitter of Messi being fed up with this guy. And then there's interviews of Ter Stegen coming out and saying Messi didn't really fuck with him. So you're basically telling me right now, the best player to ever touch Earth, the best player to ever step foot on Earth, the best player to ever touch this badge right here, kiss this badge right here, don't fuck with him, but I'm supposed to fuck with him? Or up-and-coming demon Lamine Yamal, don't fuck with him, but I'm supposed to fuck with him? Listen, shout out for everything he's done domestically for Barcelona, but it's time to move on, bro. Seriously. I don't hate him. I just despise his fans being delusional enough to think he can compete at the high level. Bro, he's scared of competition. Why the fuck would you want this here? We have guys like Rafinha over here ready to die for competition. Bro, you seen him in an interview talking about something. Oh, you seen the interview asked him, oh, you seen the likes of Luis Diaz come in? How do you feel about that? Barcelona got guys that got a competitive spirit, ready to compete everywhere. But this guy right here, Ter Stegen, man, I'm not competing for shit, bro. I'm going to the media, but they better give me my spot now. I ain't gonna. Get sisto, bro. Are you serious? Sami Segelamin.
And with Barcelona struggling overall, the fans needed someone to blame. The same supporters who once cheered his every save were now losing faith. Ter Stegen, who once seemed untouchable, was now under the microscope. And for the first time, people were seriously asking if it was time for Barca to look for a new number one. Then, after years of doubt, criticism, and people thinking that he's past it, he had one of his best ever seasons in 2023. Xavi was now the manager and the team became very good defensively. Balde, Christensen, Araujo, Koundé was a wall. And behind them, Ter Stegen was unbeatable. In 38 La Liga games, he kept 26 clean sheets and let in just 17 goals. Those are incredible numbers. He won the Zamora Trophy for the best goals against average in the league. His first ever, by the way. So I'm here praising his performances. He never won the Zamora Trophy before that season. No goalie in Europe's top 5 leagues had more clean sheets or conceded fewer goals that year. Ter Stegen was back to his best. And perhaps the sweetest moment of all was not just the fact that he helped Barcelona win a La Liga title after 4 long years, but it was that Ter Stegen was a huge part of why they won it again. His performances were so good that he was the La Liga player of the season. That's right, a goalie was the best player in the league. You look at his achievements and you might still be wondering, why is there so much division around this guy? Well, firstly, whenever a player triggers such strong emotional responses from the fan base, the answer is never black and white. It's not a simple question of, is Ter Stegen good or is Ter Stegen bad? It's a spectrum. It's about how good is Ter Stegen. How bad is Ter Stegen? Because what causes the division is that the people who think he is elite don't want to hold him to elite standards. Yes, Barca's defense has not been the best. It's hard to be at your best as a goalie when your defense constantly leaks shots. But across a decade, we haven't seen that many iconic performances from the German in the Champions League. Compare that to Courtois, who has time and time again...
On my life, chat, on everything I love, I already told y'all this constantly on my lives. This match right here made me realize Ter Stegen is not all that, bro. He's not all that, bro. Because the saves this guy was making, I don't know if he sold his soul for this game. The saves this guy was making on that day, bro, made me realize Ter Stegen, you're gaslighting me, my nigga. Dead ass, bro. Bro, the saves he was making, Ter Stegen, on my life, he's standing still, bro. He's not moving to get that ball, bro. He's not. He's not. I witnessed Thibaut Courtois single-handedly. Of course, Vinicius Jr. scored a goal, bro. That was Trent Alexander-Arnold's fault, bro. He couldn't guard the darkest man on the pitch with a white shirt on. It is what it is. This guy single-handedly won Real Madrid the 2022 Champions League final. And on my life, Real Madrid fans could come on here and tell y'all this the same way as well, bro. Seriously, bro. He literally won him that shit, bro. Militao, yeah, cool. Alaba, cool. Bro, this guy right here single-handedly won him that shit, bro. Because the shots he was facing, bro, if it was Ter Stegen to goal, Liverpool would have won this game 3-4-1. I'm being so serious. But anyways, let's continue watching the video.
Bailed out Real Madrid. There were many times where Madrid's defense was ass, or they were getting completely outplayed, and he was getting peppered with shots and opportunity. But the Belgian kept them in the game. He wasn't getting beaten at the near post. He wasn't freezing during a cross. Look at Sommer for Inter, the performance he put on against Barca. Look at Donnarumma for PSG.
Yep.
These guys are elite shot stoppers. And to perform in the Champions League, you need an elite goalie. You could argue that Ter Stegen hasn't been at his best when the lights are the brightest ever since 2015. And even then, when Barca won, Ter Stegen still had some low moments. He parried the ball right to the only open Juve guy in the final. His movement definitely doesn't help him. This was an own goal he conceded, and yeah, he definitely can't save that. But the way he's jumping early, it makes it look like it was a simple goal. The other thing is that Ter Stegen doesn't dominate his box like other elite goalies. Too many times he either stays frozen on his line or comes out and doesn't get the ball. Now you may be saying, well, Szczesny made all kinds of mistakes like this, and Barca fans still love him. Well, nobody is claiming that a retiree is a world-class goalie. He isn't the captain. He isn't on high wages. There are different expectations. On top of that, while the Polish keeper did make some mistakes, he also had some huge performances in big games. In fact, him being in goal and Barca still playing well and making it to a Champions League semi-final, I think changed the mind of many Barca fans that were on the fence. It's not down to one guy, but it tells you a lot when a guy comes out of retirement, goes in goal, and Barca go further in the Champions League than they had gone in years. Many thought Ter Stegen was blameless, but look at this table. These are the highest rated goalkeeping performances since 2004. Notice how Ter Stegen is not on here, but Szczesny is. Again, this chart is not the be-all end-all, but it's just another example that shows Ter Stegen isn't at that elite level consistently in big Champions League nights. His start to the 2025 season wasn't great either. Mistakes again in the Champions League against Monaco this time before his injury. Look at the way his own teammates are looking at him. Ter Stegen even admitted that Messi threw a ball at him and that they didn't see eye to eye during those years together, which again makes you wonder what the hell Ter Stegen was doing behind the scenes. There are not many, if any, Barca players who have ever had issues with Leo, so that raises some eyebrows too. Having said all that, his haters have gone too far. The guy was trending on Twitter with people wanting him out. There's a lot of people trying to rewrite his career. Remember, Barca don't win La Liga in 2023 without Ter Stegen. As good as that back line was on paper, the Berlin Wall made them look a lot better. There were many instances where that back line was actually exposed and Ter Stegen bailed them out. Then Barca don't win the treble in 2015 without the German. Yes, he has had some bad seasons, but he was also the only shining light besides Messi for a few years. Too many people act like a few bad seasons means that he was never good for Barca, which just isn't true. In my opinion, I just think he needs competition. Whether it's his wages, the captain's armband, injuries, who knows? I just feel like he's gotten a bit complacent. And for me, the fact that he's never wanted competition is a concerning sign. Most top keepers let their talent speak for itself, knowing that no matter who the backup is or their competition, they will outperform them. I don't think Alisson was ever worried about Kelleher. I don't think Courtois really cares that much about Lunin. Ter Stegen had a lot of great seasons after 2015, but I really do think that competition with Bravo made him a better goalie. That's just human nature. I don't know what the future holds for him, but Ter Stegen's story is one of the most interesting I've ever seen. Almost as interesting as the rise of Rafinha.
Shit right there, chat. I ain't gonna lie bro. I do not hate Ter Stegen. I appreciate Ter Stegen for everything he's done for Barcelona, bro. But it's time to move on. So, chat, it looks like Joan Garcia is joining Barcelona, and Barcelona is looking to sell Marc-Andre Ter Stegen. Listen, I do not hate Ter Stegen. I will be saying this for the last time, but yeah, he's overstayed here. He's overstayed here, and I hate every single one of his fans. Shout out to Ter Stegen for all the domestic things he's done for Barcelona. European-wise, questionable. But domestically, he was for sure there sometimes. You know what I'm saying? So, Ter Stegen, you've been here long enough, bro. If you love this club so much, bro, you will leave. Every time I die in Geometry Dash, my brother will be spanking me with a belt, man.
Give me that ass.
Alright, bro, you're a gay as fuck. Why am I shitting myself more now, bro?
No!
No!
No! I need you water. Bro's pussy, bro.
Oh, let me hit you with it then. You wanna try it?
Nigga, I'm not a stripper. Ready?
No. Just rip the band-aid off, nigga.